iteration down the road, GPT-5 might be instantaneous. I have detailed quite a few areas where GPT-4 is very likely to improve on ChatGPT, but there are quite a few areas in which it will very likely still struggle. One is advanced math, mathematical induction. Even the latest models really struggle. This area called navigation is an example where it will say something like, if you move forward 3 steps, turn right, go 3 steps, turn right again, 90 degrees, go 3 steps, that kind of thing. Do you arrive back at the start? These models really struggle with that. But the final area I find quite amusing, and it comes from Winograd schema, as detailed in this other academic paper called Superglue, which is a kind of a rival benchmark to the Big Bench. And a Winograd schema is a situation in which we have an ambiguous pronoun like he, it, or they. And the model has to predict not only who or what the pronoun is referring to, but also why would it be that thing. And it really struggles these models, and I'll show you the graph in a second. In fact, here it is. Even the latest models struggle, I think because it involves some common sense about the world and the universe that it just doesn't have. Let me show you ChatGPT failing at this task. Feel free to try this one yourself. Tom threw his school bag down to Ray after he reached the bottom of the stairs. Question: who reached the bottom of the stairs? Now it makes sense that it would be Ray, because logically you can think of real life, you're throwing it down the stairs like, here, take it before you go out. Whereas the model says Tom reached the bottom of the stairs. Wait, why would he be throwing his school bag down if he's at the bottom of the stairs? So that's an example of an area in which ChatGPT fails and GPT-4 will also likely fail. And the why bit in the title is the fact that it will not only fail, but not really be able to explain, even when it succeeds, why the pronoun is referring to the noun that it does. I find that really interesting, like the merging of language and common sense. These large language models fundamentally don't have a model of the universe, as I talked about in one of my other videos. It's the main critique that Yann LeCun has actually about large language models. This graph, by the way, gives a beautiful summary of what I think is the approximate current state of the art. So GPT-4 comparable to Palm and how it does versus the average human. On the left, all the different tasks, part of the 150 big bench tasks that it can do better than humans. And on the right, those that it does worse than humans. So you can see a roughly even split, but remember, this is versus the average human, not versus the best human. The link to all of these papers will be in the description if you want to check out the full list of tasks that it does better versus what it does worse at. I've actually scrolled through almost every single one of them and analyzed it. It's really interesting to do, actually. All these different challenges that independent humans have come up with in order to test just how far language models are progressing. A very interesting endeavor that they're putting together, all the way from Proverbs to Python. As I draw to the end here, I want to give you my 2 main conclusions. I think GPT-4, for commercial reasons and others, will be, yes, a huge step up from ChatGPT, but won't be game-breaking. What I mean by that is we're talking better than the average human at quite a few tasks, maybe half of those measured, but still lagging behind the best human in almost every task. Roughly high school levels of achievement. So yes, as I quoted Sam Altman saying in my previous video, Hype versus Reality, ChatGPT-4, yes, it's going to be disappointing to those people expecting AGI. However, what's coming down the road in the short to medium term, it's hard to put an exact date, but are we talking 2, 3, 4, 5 years, somewhere in that range? The models that are coming are going to be pretty impressive / overwhelming. That's not just, by the way, because the number of parameters are improving. As this abstract from DeepMind put it, it's not just about improving the number of parameters. It's also about using more data, 4 times more data. Palm, by the way, used 780 billion tokens, but there are up to 17 trillion tokens available on the internet. So roughly an order of magnitude more tokens, more data that these models can train on. And the number of parameters, if they're increased in alignment, would also go up by an order of magnitude. Not just that, but the compute available to big tech like Google and Microsoft is increasing all the time. I hinted at the H100 GPUs, but even just scaling up in size and compute efficiency should yield incredible improvements. There is also a whole academic paper on how chain of thought prompting, basically getting the models to break down and show they're working out, really improves results. And I've seen that myself with ChatGPT. If you ask it to explain its steps, it often gets to a right answer, whereas previously it got to a wrong answer. So it's not just about compute and parameters and data, it's also refinements to the models themselves. Of course, other improvements that are around the corner are a diversity of data inputs. Could be video, could be photos, could be audio from the microphone, and these can be assimilated into the model. So you can ask questions like, will these boots be usable to hike Mount Fuji? And this is an example from Google. That might not necessarily be in GPT-4, but it's coming, and Google might be the one pioneering these diversity of data inputs. As the eerily powerful conclusion from this Google post put it, the vision that they have is to enable a single AI system to generalize across thousands or millions of tasks, as we've seen, to understand different types of data, photos, videos, audio, text, and to do so with remarkable efficiency and speed. But this video wasn't designed to scare you. It was designed to show you the tangible ways in which GPT-4 and rival models from Google will improve on ChatGPT, so you can be prepared. I genuinely do believe that the knowledge economy is about to be upended, and the better prepared we can be, the better for all of us.